Hi, in this video lecture we are going to see about how nested loops can be used for solving problems. So to understand it, first we will consider this pattern problem. Now we will see a few pattern problems, simple problems where we have to use nested loop, more than one loop, or we can say loop within loop that is required to solve. Okay. So now look at this pattern. When n is equal to 5, I want to print like this. So what you can understand from here is in the first row there is 1 star, second row there are 2 stars and so on, right? So we can see the PAC for this problem. N is going to be the input and output is going to be the printed pattern. So when you look at the concept involved, it is going to print n rows of pattern. Okay, there are going to be n rows there, and if there are going to be 6, the pattern will be like this. So what you can understand is there are going to be some number of rows, so there should be a loop to print each row. Okay, there should be a loop to print some values in each row, and when you look at what should be printed in each row, there also repetition is required. In the first row there is only 1 star, second row 2, third row 3 and so on. So I can in general say in the ith row I have to print I values, I stars. That's the basic thing. So with this idea we are going to write the algorithm. So the algorithm says, algorithm is simple English thing, isn't it? So you are going to read n, and then you have this is the variable controlling the iteration. So let it be I equal to 0, and you are going to repeat steps 4 to 9. Okay, what you are going to do while I less than n you are going to do, but this loop is controlling for printing one row, that is rows. So when I am going to have n repetitions, I will get n rows. Okay, and inside each one, because when I am going to print a row, I have to print some number of times. Okay, how many number of times is I number of times, right? So I have to use I plus 1 number of times. Okay, or I can say yeah, that will be the correct thing. It should be less than I plus 1 because I start from 0. It depends on how we start. So I am going to print the step 6 and 7 for j less than I plus 1 number of times. What I am going to do is I am going to print I increment j. This I will repeat for I number of times, and then after that this loop will get over and the outer loop will continue after incrementing I. Okay, and the outer loop will be going on for n times. This is the basic algorithm that we are going to implement now. Okay, so let us start coding it. So what is the algorithm says? First of all, we have to read the value using input function, and we have to convert it into an integer. Then I equal to 0. Actually here I have written the algorithm simple English, but then for when I am going to use for loop, I don't need to initialize and I don't need to increment. Okay, because automatically that will happen in the for loop itself. Suppose if I am going to use while loop, then I have to definitely do these things. Okay, I have to initialize, I have to have the condition check as well as the increment part. Those 3 parts are required. Since I am using for loop, they are integrated. So I will just say for I in range, okay, 0 comma n. Okay, so this is going to run for n times, right? What I am going to do each time, I am going to say j equal to 0, right? And then you can say for j in range, okay, 0 comma I plus 1. Okay, I have to, because we saw while during the presentation that this should be less than I plus 1. Okay, I have to print print star. So I am going to print star. Okay, sorry, this j equal to 0 is also not required. This is a mistake because it is integrated with a for loop. Sorry for the mistake. Okay, so I am going to say like this, and that's all. Okay, that's what the algorithm increment also is bound with the loop itself. Right, now I will execute this, and I am going to say like 5, you will see it is printing so many stars in each line. Why? Because just recall that Python print will make the control to go to the next line. So I have to force it to not to go by specifying a second argument end. So when I say end equal to empty, then it will not go. Actually by default end is equal to new line character, so only it moves to the next line. When I say end equal to empty string, then it will not move, it will stay on the same position itself, same cursor position. So I am using it now, but after finishing a row, actually this should happen for each row. After finishing a row, I should move to the next line, isn't it? Okay, I will just show what happens if I am not doing anything. Now I will give 5. You see all the star comes on the same line because I have put end equal to null. So everything consequently gets printed. So if I want to move to the next line after printing a row, then I should introduce a print. A print can also be empty. If you are just going to give an empty print, then the control will merely move to the next line and nothing else will happen. Okay, so you see that this print is outside the inner for, right? So it is outside the inner for, and this is going to make the cursor to come to the next line after printing a row. Fine. So now if I am going to give 5, you can see that it is working fine, and I can give any number. So 7 means I will get 7 rows, right? And if I am going to have 10, then 10 rows. Okay, I can play like this. Okay, fine. Let us continue the session. So the second problem. Okay, before this I have to say something. Actually this is the way we do in other languages also. This is the logic behind the solution, but Python has something special. Okay, so we will try to write a solution for this using that. What we can do is, we have a print, and in that print I want to print star. How many times you want to print is I number of times. Okay, for this I will change, or I can say I plus 1 number of times. Okay, so let me say, because I start my I with 0. Okay, so I have to say I plus 1. So first row will have 1 star. When you say multiplication with a string, actually the string will get repeated. This is one of the property of the code, right? So now let us check it works. Okay, this is another way, a simpler way. These things what we can do only in Python, generally they call it as a Pythonic way. Okay, this is not a general logic that we use, but it's because of the support given by Python, we are going to do like this, right? So this is a string, so only we have put it within the codes, and this is star for repetition. Okay, so repetition and I plus 1 times. Okay, so since I starts with 0, this is I plus 1. Otherwise you can start with 1 and you can go up to you can say the top value is n plus 1. In that case we can directly say I. Okay, fine. So next problem what we are going to discuss is this one. And when you see the difference between the previous problem and this one is, there we just print star. Okay, but here we are printing numbers, right? So you can see that in the first row you have 1, the second row you have 1 and 2, third row 1, 2, 3 and so on, right? So you can say that in the ith row you have values from 1 to I, right? That is the logic behind this. And what is the difference in solution is, there we were printing the same values, but it is going to be different here. So we can write a solution for this. Okay, a minute. So I will get a number from the user. It is an integer, so convert it into an integer, right? And then I am going to have a for loop, right? For I in for I in range 0 comma n. I can say either like this, or I want to n plus 1 also, right? and then I have to say for Jn, here I am going to say range of 1 to I plus 1. That's what I am going to say. Stopping value I am going to say as I plus 1, because we have already seen that the stopping value will not be included in the sequence. Okay. So when I have j from 1 to okay, so shall we start the loop here also by 1? That will be better, I think. Okay, yeah. So we can start like this. There are going to be totally n lines, rows, and the values are going to start from j values. Now we will say as print j, and you can say end is equal to space. I want a space in between, so I am saying j comma end equal to space. And then after printing a row, we can say print empty. Yes, fine. Okay, so this is how we can provide a solution. But when you look at the difference between the previous problem and this problem, there I told a Pythonic way of doing things, whereas you can just put a star and repeat the printing. Here we cannot do, because the reason is there it was printing the same string. Here it is different. Values are going to vary for each iteration, so we cannot do like that. Okay, so we can see for one more value, yeah, it is getting printed. Okay, fine. So next problem what we are going to see is, this is a pattern, okay, and when n is equal to 4, this is how a pattern looks like. So when you look at the pattern, what you understand is first row 2, second row it starts from 4 and goes up to 2, third row and so on. So when you observe it, what you can understand is, if you are having 6 rows, it will be like this. What you can understand is, in each row there are going to be number of elements equal to the row index. I mean that in the ith row there will be I values printed, and when you look at the values are decreasing. Okay, and when you look at the starting value, actually it is twice as that of the row index. So if this is a third row, I find that this is 6, and after that next value is getting decremented by 2, and each value is getting decremented by 2 till it reaches 2. Okay, this is how the sequence is getting generated. So when you look at the input, n is going to be the input, the number of rows that you want to print, and as we observed, you are going to print a pattern of even numbers in decreasing order. So this may be the algorithm. So you are going to read the value of n, and you are going to start with I equal to 1, right, and you are going to repeat steps 4 to 9, right. And what do you do in the step is, I am going to find j is equal to twice as that of I, because I told in the ith row there are going to be values which are multiple of 2, and that starts from the I into twice. Okay, actually yes, it should be like that, and then we are going to okay, it should be n into 2, I think. Yeah, that yeah, I into 2, because this is the inner loop. This is the inner loop initialization, so it should be I into 2. That is, if it is the second row, then it should start from 4. If it is the third row, I denotes the row index. Third row it should be 6. 10th row it should be 20, and so on. Correct. Then you are going to repeat these two steps, where you are going to print 2 into I. Okay, that value you are going to print, and you are going to do this while j is greater than 1. Okay. Okay, it should be 2 into j, I suppose. Yeah, this should be 2 into j. Yeah. Okay, we'll check it. And increment I and decrement, increment j and decrement I by 2, and then you are going to stop. Okay. So when we write the code, it will be more clear. So right, so we are going to do even loop. Okay. So let me get the value of n from the user. And then we have to have two loops. The first loop is for in range, okay, 1 comma n plus 1. There are going to be n rows, okay. And then for j in range, okay. So how should j start actually? J should start from I into 2, okay. So it will be I into 2, and when it is going to stop is, actually it should decrement, right? So it is going to start from 2, I into 2, and should stop when it goes below 2, right? So let me say that 1 will be the stopping criteria. So if it goes below 1, okay, equal to, below or equal to 1, then the loop is going to stop. And you want to decrement the thing by 2, okay. So you are giving -2 step value. We have seen already about this in the previous lectures. Range can take step. By default it will increment by 1. If you want, you can change the increment value by changing the third parameter of range, that is the step value, right? So we have written this, and what you are going to print is print j, right? End equal to null, and then you can also print empty print to come to the next line. Fine. So if I give 5, actually you can see I want a space, okay. Without space it looks so clumsy. So instead of space I am going to give tab. Whatever you want you can give for end, whichever character you want. Now I want to have tab in between the print values, so I am giving as \t. So if I am going to execute this code, then you can see 2, this is 4, 2, okay, and so on, okay. So I give 10, then you can see, okay. So it starts from that 10 means 20, okay, twice of the n value, and then it is going to decrement each time by 2 till it becomes 2, right? Okay, hope you have understood about nesting loop, okay. When you want to repeat a set of statements and within another set of statements, then we will go for nested loops, right? You can further practice and understand more. Thank you.